Our main topic for tonight concerns deepfakes. That's right, everybody's favorite videos involving Kanye West and Sydney Sweeney teaching calculus.
Let's simplify these three terms and put them into brackets.
First step is to times that number by the 3 on the end.
Okay, or even Rod Brindamore expressing his true feelings after the Canes Game 5 exit from the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Even a tomato can could make the Stanley Cup Finals with that Florida Panthers roster.
However, these deepfakes, when used maliciously, can pose a true issue in terms of public perception and also for what they mean in terms of defamation law. Now, a deepfake is a hyper-realistic digital fabrication, usually in the form of a video or audio recording. These are created using AI by superimposing a new image over existing footage. So they take pre-existing images or videos of people speaking, they layer a new mouth over a new voice. Now, these deepfakes can be used for anything, as you saw previously in the last two videos, which also means that when they're not used correctly, they can have permanent damage to someone's reputation. And this is where defamation comes in. So usually when you're fighting against somebody defaming you, you would do this with a civil slander or libel suit. However, these laws were written well before the time of AI and therefore do not have the power to regulate AI properly. And these deepfakes work kind of like Photoshop, but instead of just changing the visual that you're posting, they also change your face and voice, and now those two are spreading lies as well. So you may be wondering, or nah, I don't really care, who is actually being harmed by these AI videos? Well, the answer isn't specific, which is part of the problem. The biggest threat these videos pose is in the land of politics and election interference, in which attack ads feature AI-created images that change the narrative of a very simple photo. Take the governor's election in Indiana last year. So, candidate Braun used an AI deepfake in an ad worth $1 million to make it appear like his opponent, McCormick, and her supporters were all holding signs that said, "No more gas stoves." The only problem is, these were all just normal campaign signs that had nothing to do with gas stoves. The best part being, he went on to win the election, and he's currently the governor of Indiana after using AI to win the election, or at least partially. And politicians aren't the only people who are affected by AI deepfakes as well. Now, normal people can also have deepfakes made of them. It's not just celebrities in AI. Anybody who knows you, who has access to your face posted online, can use that to make their own deepfaked images. So instead of worrying about a dark humor Instagram reel that you liked 2 years ago when you're in a job interview, you now have to worry about your ex making a deepfake of you raiding the Capitol. Now that we've seen why deepfakes can be a problem and ruin a person's reputation, we can dive deeper into how it interferes with defamation law. The root of the problem is that AI is just simply newer than defamation law is, and therefore there's a harder time covering it. And these laws may cover somebody claiming that they were domestically abused in a newspaper, but they don't cover somebody in their mom's basement making sports players say crazy stuff online. While we may have made AI smart enough to make these things, we did not make it smart enough to know morality and the value behind not ruining somebody's life for no good reason. The nature of deepfakes being deeply engraved in the internet and how easy they are to spread makes people difficult to catch when they make them, and they're also difficult to punish. There is little to no upside of allowing deepfakes to run rampant around the internet other than your occasional funny video that was made in good faith.
This time, we're going to be changing the name of the French horn to the Horn of America.
Although they're way too believable nowadays. However, those in support of them have made a decent claim in the protection within the First Amendment. Deepfake makers claim that freedom of expression permits them to make misleading videos, mostly because the only restrictions to freedom of expression, being slander and libel, or at least the biggest ones, can be hard to apply to AI deepfakes. However, there's a reason you can't yell fire in a theater or say that you want to kill the president, including a visual diagram and instructions to meet Fridays at midnight under the Brooklyn Bridge, password 6 Semper Tyrannis. You do, in fact, have free speech, but not at the cost of other human rights. And sure, comedy and freedom of speech may be important, but when your grandma believes you confess murder in a fake video, maybe the joke's gone too far. Now, as we've discussed, deepfakes can destroy reputations and are hard to regulate with defamation law. Lives can be ruined following a few clicks, and very few consequences follow. So, what do we need to do about this? At the very minimum, we need to have it so that deepfakes are obviously disclosed by video creators, the same thing we do with sponsored partnerships with the hashtag ad. By making these creators show that the video is fake in a clear watermark on the video, not in a caption, viewers are less likely to take it seriously and actually have a negative impact on reputation. At the same time, this doesn't restrict freedom of speech, as they can still post, they just have, to have a disclaimer in it. As for what you can do, you can educate others on the dangers of deepfakes and report misleading videos when you see them. I know Instagram has a feature to report a video if it is created or visually altered. And most importantly, push for legislation that restricts AI videos that cause harm to the people around us. Thank you for watching.